Financial behavior is often influenced by a complex web of social and personal factors. Among these, family dynamics play a significant role in shaping an individual's decisions regarding money, particularly when it comes to borrowing. Familial lending, which involves financial transactions between relatives, is a widespread practice across various cultures. This type of borrowing operates outside the formal banking system and is typically governed by informal. The motivations behind such arrangements are diverse. For the lender, it may stem from a sense of obligation, a desire to support a loved one through a difficult period, or to help them achieve a specific goal, such as education, starting a business, or purchasing a home. For the borrower, turning to family can seem like a more accessible and less intimidating option compared to seeking a loan from a financial institution. The terms of these loans are often flexible, sometimes with low or no interest, and repayment schedules that can be adjusted based on the borrower's circumstances. However, the absence of formal documentation and the intertwining of financial and personal relationships can lead to misunderstandings. Without a clear written agreement detailing the loan amount, interest, if any, and a repayment plan, both parties may have different recollections or expectations. This ambiguity is a common source of conflict. A conversation that begins as a simple request for financial assistance can evolve into a point of tension if the terms are not explicitly defined and mutually understood from the outset. Financial education materials often emphasize the importance of clear communication in all monetary dealings. And this principle is especially critical within family contexts. Family pressure related to money can manifest in several ways. It can be explicit, such as a direct request for a loan or financial support for a shared family expense. It can also be implicit, arising from a perceived expectation to maintain a certain lifestyle, contribute to a family business, or provide for other family members. These pressures can influence an individual's spending, saving, and borrowing habits. For example, an individual might feel compelled to take on debt to fund a large family event or to help a relative who is facing financial hardship. The decision-making process in these situations is rarely based on financial calculations alone. Emotional considerations, a sense of duty, and the desire to maintain harmonious family relationships are powerful influencing factors. When a loan is made between family members, the dynamic between them changes. The relationship is no longer solely familial. It now includes a debtor-creditor dimension. This can alter the balance of power and create feelings of obligation or resentment. The borrower may feel a constant sense of scrutiny or judgment from the lending relative, and their financial decisions might be subject to unsolicited opinions or advice. Conversely, the lender may feel anxious about the return of their funds and may struggle with how to address late or missed payments without causing a family rift. The social and emotional capital at stake is often far greater than the monetary amount of the loan. Economic studies of intrafamily transfers highlight that these exchanges are as much about reinforcing social bonds as they are about providing financial aid. Navigating these situations requires a high degree of emotional intelligence and clear communication. Establishing boundaries is a concept frequently discussed in psychology and applies directly to financial dealings within a family. These boundaries involve defining what one is willing and able to do financially for others without jeopardizing one's own financial stability. This might mean deciding to provide non-monetary support instead of a loan, or offering a smaller amount than requested. It can also involve formalizing the loan with a written agreement. A simple document outlining the loan terms can provide clarity and a reference point for both parties, transforming a potentially ambiguous situation into a structured transaction. This act of documentation is not a sign of distrust, but rather a tool for preserving the relationship by preventing future misunderstandings. Cultural norms also heavily influence the expectations around family financial support. In some cultures, there is a strong collective expectation that more financially successful family members will support others. Refusing a request for a loan in such a context can be perceived as a rejection of familial duty and can lead to social consequences. In other cultures, financial independence is more highly valued, and borrowing from family might be seen as a last resort. Understanding the cultural backdrop is essential to comprehending the pressures and expectations an individual may face. Sociological research indicates that these cultural scripts about money are learned early in life and are deeply ingrained, guiding financial behaviors often on a subconscious level. The psychological impact of owing money to a family member can be significant. The borrower may experience feelings of guilt, shame, or a diminished sense of autonomy. They might avoid social gatherings to evade conversations about the loan, leading to social isolation. The stress associated with the debt can affect their mental health and overall well-being. For the lender, there can be a parallel emotional toll, including anxiety about the loan's repayment and the strain it places on the relationship. If the loan is not repaid, the lender faces the difficult choice of either writing off the debt, which could cause financial strain, or pursuing repayment, which could irreparably damage the family bond. The potential for long-term relational damage is a significant risk inherent in familial lending. From a financial planning perspective, lending to family is often approached with caution. Financial literature typically describes any loan as an investment with an associated risk of default. When the borrower is a family member, that risk is compounded by the potential for relational fallout. An individual considering lending to a relative must assess their own financial position. The funds for the loan should ideally come from discretionary funds, not from essential savings, retirement accounts, or emergency funds. A common piece of advice in financial education is to only lend an amount that one is prepared to lose without it causing financial hardship. This mindset reframes the loan as a potential gift, which can help mitigate the emotional and financial strain if the money is not returned. Alternatively, families can explore other ways to provide support that do not involve a direct loan. This could include offering expertise, such as helping a relative create a budget or search for a job. It could involve providing in-kind support, like childcare or a place to live for a short period. Sometimes, the most valuable assistance is connecting a family member with professional resources, such as a nonprofit credit counseling service or a financial advisor. These organizations can provide impartial guidance and structured solutions, like debt management plans, which can help an individual regain financial stability without introducing the complexities of a family loan. Encouraging the use of professional services helps to separate the financial problem from the family relationship, allowing the family to provide emotional support while an external expert handles the financial mechanics. When a loan is unavoidable, the structure of the repayment is key. Creating a realistic repayment plan from the start is crucial. This involves an honest conversation about the borrower's income, expenses, and ability to make regular payments. The plan should be documented, and both parties should keep a copy. Regular, open communication throughout the life of the loan is also important. If the borrower is facing challenges in making a payment, they should communicate this to the lender as early as possible. This allows for adjustments to be made to the plan, rather than letting a missed payment become a source of unspoken tension. The lender, in turn, should be prepared to be flexible but also consistent in their expectations. The goal is to handle the transaction with the same seriousness as a formal loan, but with the grace and understanding that the family relationship requires. In conclusion, borrowing and lending within a family are complex financial activities deeply embedded in relational and emotional contexts. While they can be a vital source of support, they carry inherent risks to both financial well-being and family harmony. The dynamics are shaped by communication, expectations, cultural norms, and the psychological weight of debt. The distinction between a successful family loan and one that leads to conflict often lies in the clarity of the initial agreement, the establishment of clear boundaries, and ongoing, honest communication. The process requires navigating a delicate balance between financial prudence and familial compassion. Understanding these dynamics is a key component of financial literacy, as it equips individuals to make more informed decisions when money and family intersect. The transactions are not merely about the movement of funds. They are about managing relationships and expectations in one of the most personal areas of life.